All right, guys, welcome to a special edition of Steel Horse Racing TV. Here we are doing a live reveal for the Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series Chase for the Cup grid. We got Jimmy North in here. Jimmy, say hi. It's the first time I'm doing a little dual box thing here, so got a couple admins in here drinking a couple alcoholic beverages, and we're gonna talk crap about the year and do a little review for the regular season and talk to some of the Chase contenders. So,
I'm still winless, buddy.
Say what?
I'm still winless.
Yeah, I feel you, man. I'm there too. We managed to pull off those 2 wins last year, but it was a tough one this year, man. That competition was crazy, wasn't it?
Tell me, bud. I had a good car last night, and that was a situation for me. Was winning you're in, and I was close, but got caught up in a couple wrecks, and that kind of sealed the deal right there. But yeah, it's been a pretty decent season. We got a lot of good guys that are going for the championship, and it's just going to get even more competitive as more and more drivers get eliminated through the chase.
Yeah, it's I'm hoping I can last like I did last season, but if I make it through the first round, then I'm gonna call it a good, because the competition level this year. I mean, no offense to the guys that ran last year, but this year they really stepped it up. We got quite a few new guys in there, and man, if I get top 10 at the end of the night, I'm happy. So this has been one heck of a season.
Yeah, that's primarily my goal. You know, stay in the top 30 in points. That way, I don't have to qualify in to get into the show next year. And who knows? You know, maybe we'll have a better package next season. I can be more competitive. Now that I've personally switched teams, I'm with Timmy Home Motorsports now. So, yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But you're also in the chase.
Say what?
You're also in the chase.
Oh, yeah, I'm in there. I managed to squeak in with some consistent finishes, I guess, and managed to be...
some unfortunate circumstances when you blew up in front of me last night, and I almost rear-ended you.
Oh, yeah. Hey, we're having a little technical difficulty here. Did we just lose all sound? Can you hear me, Jimmy?
Yep, I got you.
All right. All right, guys, let me know if we're echoing now. Say something now, Jimmy. All right, and there we go. All right, so hey, we're here now. Sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties. This is first time I've tried this, so I got a few bugs to work out, but we'll try this out. What we can do is we can mute him in Skype. He's gonna. All right, so here, what we can do. Hang on 1 second here. I have Jimmy muted here. Jimmy, if you could talk in TeamSpeak, you're going to be a little bit delayed on the feed, but we won't have any echoes. One second here, guys. 1 second. Can we get you to talk in TeamSpeak there, Jimmy?
How about now? You got me?
Yeah, I got you.
Loud and clear?
Loud and clear. All right. Cool. You're going to be a little bit delayed, but... we'll be all right. Anyways, what you guys have been waiting for is the reveal of our our Full Throttle Cup Series Chase for the Cup grid. So without further ado, let's get the show on the road. And now, the moment you've been waiting for. The 2015 Real Sim Racing Full Throttle Cup Series Chase for the Cup Contenders. Starting the chase in the #1 spot with a dominant run of 4 wins on the season, the number 14 Monster Energy Chevy of David Comstock. Seated second in the chase with 3 wins on the season, the #1 Steel Horse Racing entry of Thomas J. George. With 2 wins on the season, this driver looks to make a bold statement in his first ever chase. The number 23 Steel Horse Racing entry of Greg Evans. Gritting fourth in the chase, hoping to back up a marvelous 2014 championship run, the number 94 of Eric Brundys. The number 5 means a lot to this driver, as it is his seating position and the number on the side of his door, the Steel Horse Racing entry of Dan Murray. After sitting out the final race of the regular season, this driver looks to come back with a vengeance, the number 89 Steel Horse Racing Chevy of Jeff Ward. Starting a wave of Boomtown Sim drivers, this team owner looks to capitalize on his first ever chase berth, the number 69 of Corbin Hemstreet. Continuing with the Boomtown Sim drivers, with 1 win on the season, 5 top 5s, and 10 top 10s, the number 96 of Mitch Rollo. Pretty much solidifying his way into the chase of the first race of the season, he looks to end the season the way he started it, the number 36 of Rich Jet. After only starting 14 races in the regular season, this driver solidified his spot in the chase with the win at Daytona in February, the number 9 of Anthony DeBarro. Also only starting 14 regular season races, this driver solidified his chase spot with a bold pit strategy win at Darlington, the number 87 of Christopher Horlow. After leading the regular season points all year but not quite managing to hit victory lane, this driver looks to reclaim his points lead, the number 13 of Dwayne Vincent. What he lacked in the victory lane department, he made up for in the consistency and sex appeal department, the number 11 Toyota of Jonathan Cadell. Another consistent contender of the year. While he may not have the sex appeal, he's got the chase appeal, the number 25 of Nick Silver. And finally, making his second straight chase, that admin from north of the border, eh? It's the number 29 of Brennan Mercer. Oh wait, I must have forgot something. That's right, there's 16 drivers in this chase field. Let me see here. After reviewing the tape, tabulating the final running order, doing 4 Hail Marys, and a couple shots of Jim Beam, the RSR officials calculated the final standings, and without further ado, we present to you making his first ever chase for the Cup, the number 53 Steel Horse Racing entry of Nicholas Cohan. Sorry for the audio issues we're having here. I worked a lot on that video too, so sorry about that. But hopefully we're good now on the audio. As you can see, Nick Cohan made it in by the hair of his chinny chin chin. Yeah, go ahead, Jimmy.
After last night's deal at Richmond, yeah, it was pretty crazy. It's like with this new build with iRacing, the version 6 tires that they're putting on these cars, and what do they call it on the track now? Help me out here, Jonathan. Progressive track changes. And yeah, I mean it's adding a whole new challenge. That car got really tight last night. A lot of guys were burning off the tires, and I was amazed at how fast the fall off was. But yeah, for the most part, yeah, Nick Cohan definitely got in, like you said, by the hair on his chin. So some guys are out, some are in. So we'll kind of go over that here shortly.
One second. Can y'all hear me now? There we go. There we go. All right. Now, Jimmy, say something to me so I can get your voice lowered a little bit.
1, 2, 3, test. You got me?
Yeah, I know exactly what it is now. Change volume. Turn you down there. All right, say something now.
How about this?
Yeah. There we go. That should be better. All right. Yeah, so the deciding factor for Nick Cohan to get in, the last caution last night, the last caution was claimed by Dan Murray. So Dan Murray moved to the back of the running order on that lap. However, we had to review another caution which was not claimed, and whoever explain it for me, Jimmy. I'm at a loss of words here.
That's all right. Basically, what happens is in our rules package that we have for RSR real sim racing, is that if the driver claims caution and causes another one doesn't claim it, basically he gets bumped to the end of the longest line in the points, not the standings, but the points for that night. So that's usually what happens. But with that scenario, there were some drivers involved in that one last incident. I think it was with Corbin Hemstreet, and I can't remember who else it was. But yeah, in that scenario, it just kind of jumbled the points around to the point to where, some drivers are actually, out of the chase.
Yeah, I think it was between him and Greg Evans, and then there was a couple of cars later in the back of the pack that also got together. So there was like 6 cars that could have been between who caused the caution, who actually caused the wreck when the caution came out or whatnot. And now after looking at it and deciding, we ended up giving the caution to, who was that? I believe it was Corbin, correct?
Yeah, we gave it to Corbin because of the fact that it's just, kind of stuck his nose in there and turned one at the wrong point of time, and, it caused granted, both him, I think it was a 23 car, what was it? Was that Greg Evans?
Yeah, it's Greg Evans.
Yeah, they both saved it, but it just checked the field so bad that, the admins had decided unanimously that it was on Corbin Hemstreet. So, not too sure what's going to happen with him. I mean, he was worried earlier last night, actually after the race, that he would be possibly, sitting out for not claiming the caution, but, nothing's been confirmed on that side of it. So we don't know anything as of yet.
Yeah, I know Corbin was feeling really bad. He was trying to tell everybody that's one of the worst races he's had in a while. So I know Corbin feels bad about it. And like I said, all of us were getting used to the new surface model there. And hell, I only lasted 30-some laps last night before I was taken out. So, I know Corbin's a good racer and everything, and he feels real bad about it. But that was a deciding factor, and it actually gave Nick Cohan a 1-point advantage for the final spot in the chase. And what really threw a wrench into all this is when Christopher Hurlow won at Darlington the week before and took away one more spot in the regular point standing. So we pretty much had Gottschalk and Cohan guaranteed to get in the chase, and then Hurlow wins and throws a wrench into everyone's plans, and we had us a much better race to get in the chase than NASCAR actually had. So that was really exciting. We actually had to sleep on it like they did for the 2000 election, is what Steve Herron said. So I think we're a little bit more excited about this than we were about that election.
Very true.
All right. So let's go ahead and get some driver interviews here.
Yeah, we can get going on some driver interviews here and find out what some of these drivers' plans are to possibly go and win the championship, because we know the whole season anything can happen, and this new build, some of these drivers are probably going to be concerned about it because it's literally throwing a monkey wrench into a lot of guys' strategy and how they race. It's with the new build, it's literally the driver that has to, it's basically in the driver's hands to handle this race car, because you could go out there and hot lap for 30, 40 laps and maintain the lead. That's not going to be the case anymore. It's basically come down to the driver to make sure that they save their tires. So yeah, let's get some interviews going here.
All right then, we'll go ahead and we'll get Mitch Rollo to come down here first. Mitch Rollo, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Not doing too bad, man. How you feel getting into your first chase?
Oh man, I'm real excited for this. Last year I came into the series late and I didn't have a chance to make the chase, but winning it at Watkins Glen, that was a real blast, and getting into the chase with all these unbelievable drivers in this series, it's an honor. So I'm super excited for this thing to get started.
Yeah, man, you did good at Watkins Glen. I know last year we were racing at Watkins Glen against each other, and you were right in front of me. And went flipping through the S's. So you did a lot of improvement and got yourself in the chase this year through Watkins Glen.
Yeah, last year I was driving over my head. I was my first ever RSR race, and I ended up starting 6th somehow, and was driving with all those faster guys up front, and was driving over my head and wrecked it. But I'm glad we came back this year and got a lot better and got in the chase with that win.
Yeah, man, it's always a good feeling to get that win and be guaranteed to get in the chase. I know I got 2 last year and I was guaranteed, but this year I know I had a good comfortable points lead on 16th, but all you Boomtown guys just kept winning. I was like, crap, I'm gonna have to start winning a race to get guaranteed in the chase. So, man, you did a good job this year, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I have noticed that the competition from last year to this year really stepped up, and I think early in the year, Boomtown was a little far off, and then we brought Anthony and Chris on, and I think that was pushing all of us to try and be better. So I think that helped us all out. And just to get all 4 cars from Boomtown in the chase is incredible. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Coming down to the last few races there before the chase, I was telling Chris, I was like, you know what, man, this is going to be tough for you to get in because he missed all those races, so there's no way he was going to get in on points. So he was going to have to win, and his spotter and my spotter, Jerry Como, they worked together, and I made a good call to give him 2 tires, and we're all telling him, I was like, oh, no, you took 2 tires, you're done, and somehow he was able to hold the whole field off. So I'm super happy for Chris that he got that win, and also with Corbin and Anthony, they both did a tremendous job this season as well.
Now, Mitch, with your, you've been an excellent driver all season long. You've been competitive, and you've had a lot of top 5, top 10 finishes. And with this chase structure, what's your main focus? What are you guys going to do on your team, especially for just you, to go out there and try to not be eliminated as the chase goes on?
Well, I think my biggest thing going through the first round is just going to be to finish the races, not make any stupid moves to, hinder my chances at finishing the races. And then once we get, if I can get to the second and third round, then I'm going to have to start thinking about trying to, run top 3, top 5, top 7 every race. But I think the focus for now, just going through the first round, is just finishing races, and then we'll go from there.
You see, for a guy like myself, I'm outside of the top 16. I'm just focusing on good finishes, but I would imagine that the stress level is probably going to be a little bit higher to perform better. Do you think that something like that would affect how you run on the track?
Maybe a little bit. I might, some of the moves that I've made throughout the regular season, I might be a bit more careful about them now. But, other than that, we're just going to put in a lot of time in testing and on the track and stuff, and get that speed that we need. And also with this new surface model, we're going to have to completely change our driving styles, with how much you have to save the tires now. Because I know last night, I was good for about 30 laps or 40 laps, but then after that, I was just a fish out of water. So we'll see how it goes at Chicago. I definitely have some room to improve with this new build, but I'm sure we'll figure it out. Me and the rest of the team will work hard together like we have all season, and hopefully pull off victory too in this chase.
All right, Mitch. Well, thanks for talking to us. Well, good luck in the chase, and looks like we're going to get Dan Murray in here now.
Thanks, guys.
Dan Murray, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys?
Hey, how you doing, Dan?
Good, a lot better than last night.
Yeah, that was a crappy situation there, and nobody likes to see teammates involved in something like that.
Yeah, hopefully we got it out of our system for the chase, but I think we'll be good.
All right, well, how you feel making your second chase, man? You squeaked in there last year, and almost came down to a dang championship. Me, you, and Eric, and Thomas had a pretty good run at it, but how you feel making your second chase?
Man, I couldn't be happier. The group of guys that we got this year, not saying last year we had a bad group of guys. We had a really good group last year, but this year, just our whole team has been stout. We knew it was going to be a little unfortunate last night because it sounded like somebody was going to miss out on a point deal. So, but to get almost everybody in the chase except for one, it's a great accomplishment for the team. And as far as myself, I'm just really looking to build on last year and try to improve on my 4th place finish overall last year. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, how is the new surface model throwing a wrench into your plans?
Oh, I love it. I couldn't be happier. It seems like any session that we all get into that's this new dynamic track, it seems like we're relatively pretty fast. So I'm really, really excited for these next 10 races, and I think Steel Horse is just going to really shine.
Yeah, as like I was mentioning earlier with Mitch and how this whole change is basically kind of throwing a wrench into things for some drivers. You can't go out there and just, run the fastest lap every lap anymore like you could. It's definitely a tire-saving deal. So what's your guys' strategy going into the chase? I mean, of course the stress level is going to be up. You're going to want to perform very well, but do you have a plan in place?
Not really a plan. We know what worked last year, and it's probably not going to be the same situation this year. First and foremost, we got to go after wins. I mean, you gotta look at every race out of these next 10, and at this point, you got to be saying, I can win that one, and then go after it. And then if something happens to where you're not going to have that chance at the end, you got to settle for having a good points day. You can't afford to get yourself into trouble. And as much as the tire model and everything changed as far as everybody not being able to hot lap all the time, you still got 15, 16 guys who want to hot lap all the time during the race. So it forces you to pick up the pace a little more and not be able to pace yourself and save your tires as much as you'd like to. So as long as we can stay within ourselves and not burn our stuff up to where we're there at the end of runs, and hopefully we do get some green flag runs during the chase, then I think we should be all right.
Hey, you got to think of this scenario, though, too. Sorry, Jonathan, I'll let you chime in here after this one. But you got to think, though, I mean, just like in the Real Cup Series last year where Ryan Newman basically got into the chase and did pretty well without a win. So what's your feeling on that?
It kind of reminds me a lot of last year. Last year, I came in probably a quarter of the way through the year and just ran really, really well. Didn't win anything until late in the chase, at Martinsville. But just by finishing well enough every round during the chase, you got a hell of a shot to make it to the next round. Just as long as you don't have, I think a DNF pretty much takes you out of it unless you're able to win.
That's for sure, man. I tried some Ryan Newman stuff myself last year. Tried to bump Eric out of the way in the last turn, and it didn't work out. But I managed to finish second in the points without winning a race. So, yeah, that Ryan Newman strategy isn't the worst, man.
Oh, I didn't forget who finished second in the points, sir.
Just want to remind you, just in case you forgot. All right, Dan.
Nah, man.
I know you got a league race to get to. Hopefully I'll get there in time, too. But we'll let you go, and we're going to bring Greg Evans down here now.
All right, guys, man. I appreciate everything. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, you too, Dan.
Mr. Greg Evans, my alter ego. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good, but how about you?
Not doing too bad. You had your first full season this year at Real Sim Racing. How do you feel it went?
It wasn't too bad. After taking pretty much a year off and then decided to come back and give it a shot. 2 wins, and with the competition that we had, I can't be disappointed in that. But I think going into next year, I'm going to do a lot more practicing than I did this year and take it a little more serious, especially before this chase gets started. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I know it requires a lot more practice than it's a lot more than some of the leagues where you can just come in and run a couple laps and you'll be up to speed eventually. And here we got guys that run 3 NIS races a week just to be able to find that perfect line and get that little bit of extra competitiveness coming into Monday night. So You're definitely right about that one. So which your races what was it that you won this year?
I won Las Vegas, and then I won Bristol about, I think, 3 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, you won Vegas because I happened to not be there that week, right?
Yeah, toughest competition was going to be you, and then when you didn't show up, I felt a whole lot better about it.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it usually is when I don't show up.
Yeah, when the 11 car don't show up, you know you got a chance to win.
Well, yeah, usually though only when Greg Evans is driving the car.
Yeah, but when 11 shows up, you usually got Dodge and Rex. So.
You
got anything, Jimmy?
Certainly do. Well, you're seated 5th there, Greg, in the point standings going into Chicago. So, what's going to be your plan? Go out there, get some wins, maybe get some top 5s to just kind of secure your spot as we go through the elimination process?
I think the biggest thing is to get through this first round. If you can have a steady 3 races, top 5, top 10 every week, those first 3 races, that's going to give you like a good, rhythm to get to the chase. Like I said, it's going to be very interesting. This is my first time doing it, so I don't really know what to expect. But if we can get through Chicagoland, the top 5, that'd be awesome. Even the top 10 would be awesome. And just get the chase started off right, because, one DNF put you out of it pretty much. And I wasn't here much last year for the chase, but I know, Adam Benefield had an awesome year. And I think he was pretty much a shoe-in to get in the final race and didn't make it. So, anything can happen. It's just going to be all about consistency and just not having a bad race and just being there to the end of the season for the last race, and then just give it all you got.
Yeah, definitely. You got 8 top 5s and 11 top 10s, so you're definitely, probably one of the top tier guys that are, seeded into this chase to possibly go in and win the championship. So what's going to be your plans for Chicago? For instance, if you happen to get caught, back around 20th place, and we all know we're going into an unknown, it could be difficult to pass. So is pit strategy and all that stuff going to kind of play a huge role?
I think tire management is going to play the biggest role. And then maybe like a 2-tire stop at the end if you can. And hopefully we're not back in the 20th spot, because then that'd be a huge hurdle to overcome. I think just the top 10 qualifying would be awesome, and just kind of see how the tires do. This new build with the dynamic track and stuff, it's really, after Richmond, that's my first race with it, and I really liked it. I didn't know how hard to push the tires, and I thought that I had saved enough. That one green flag run we had, and I ended up not saving enough. So that kind of gave me a little intuition on, what exactly we need to do with the tires for the Chicago. And that's going to be a different story because it's a mile and a half, but it does give you a little bit of experience with it to know just how hard you can push and how hard you should push. And also, I think that this new dynamic track is kind of tightening the setups a little bit. And usually I like a little bit loose setup, but with the tighter setup, it's going to make the tire management even more important. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully we can get a top 5 out of Chicagoland and get it started off right.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be very interesting to see what happens as we kind of go through the chase and see how good, a lot of the drivers are going to be able to, progress through this huge change that we've had with the new build. But good luck to you, man. So like I said, I think you've got a pretty good chance amongst a lot of the other drivers as well. So.
Well, hopefully I can adapt a little quicker than anybody else can, especially make it to the first down. If I didn't make it to the first down, that would be horrible. But we'll see how it goes, and I appreciate it, and y'all have a good one.
You too, Greg. All right, next we're going to bring down Jeff Ward. He's got about 5 seconds to get down here. I just poked him. Come on, Jeff. You still there, buddy? Nope. No Jeff. All right, we'll go with Rich. Oh, crap. There's Jeff. Hi, how you doing, man?
What's up, guys? I almost missed it there.
Almost, but you're here.
You're here. You're live on the air drinking beer with us, right?
Yeah, the feed froze there for a second. I was trying to get it going.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, hey, first year of Real Sim Racing. You got yourself, you got one win on the year, right? And what was that, 2?
Just one so far.
Oh, just okay, yeah, just one. Didn't mean to rub it in, but you got yourself a win, got yourself locked in the chase, and unfortunately, due to unforeseen circumstances, had to sit out the final race last night. But you were very well solidified into the chase. So, other than last night, how do you feel the rest of your season went?
We've had a pretty good season. It's kind of been up and down. We've led a lot of laps and probably should have finished a lot better in a lot of races, but just can't close the deal some weeks. So going in the chase, we got to work on that for sure, and playing a little bit catch up after missing Richmond with the new surface. So we're gonna have to learn a couple things going into Chicago there.
Yeah, man. Well, it was good to have you on Still Horse Racing this year. I know that there were a couple times where you'd just be leading a race, dominating, and you'd have something happen. I know, I think it was Indy. You and Chad Cole happened to get together. Y'all actually had quite a few run-ins, and you had quite an adventurous year. But there was no doubt in my mind that you were definitely going to be in the chase because you were always one of the front runners.
Yeah, I'm surprised you guys didn't kick me out. I've tore up a lot of race cars this year. I usually like to try to stay pretty clean, but just been in the wrong place at the wrong time, a lot of races. But there's been a lot of races where we finished second, and then we got that win at Texas. So hopefully we can clean it up. It's it's been an awesome run with you guys. I've learned a lot this year. This is actually the first year where I really ran with a full team like this. So it's been a little bit of an adjustment, but at the same time, I think I've learned a lot from some of the top tier guys on the team.
Now, Jeff, what's going to be your strategy going into the chase? You've got a lot. You're like the second driver with the most maximum bonus points on the season for leading, and you got 1 win, 6 top 5s, 10 top 10s. I mean, what's going to be your strategy to survive so you can make it to the next round after 3 races?
Well, missing Richmond kind of stung a little bit. Yeah, it's the first race I've missed this year. I always try to practice and be in all of them, so that kind of stung. I'm going to come out and just try to win every race. Feel like if I can win a couple, then we'll be in good position. But, so far the stats wouldn't show that we're going to do that, though, this year. But hopefully we can turn it around. And like I said, I got good teammates, so.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, definitely. And, you got to wonder, though, too. I mean, you got David Comstock, who won last night and now is, in first place for the race at Chicago. Dwayne Vincent, Eric Cundies, and like Dan Marine, all those other guys. I mean, the strategy is going to come into play at Chicago Line no matter what because of this new build. And, it's like you said, with this new build, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with tire wear at Chicago because, it's a 1.5 miles. A lot of guys are going to want to go fast right off the bat. So, what's your plan for Chicago? I mean, you do some testing on the side, a little bit of practice to just kind of get yourself acclimated with the tires?
Yeah, I hope to practice a lot more for Chicago after missing, the first race of this year with the new surface model. So, and David, I think he's probably the top seed going in, and I saw where he won the race last night, so he's going to be coming in with a head of steam. Boomtown's been really strong. I think a couple guys had a hiccup last night, but they'll bounce right back. They're a great team, and they're definitely peaking at the right time. So we got our work cut out with them. David, Dwayne, he's always super tough. That's a top 3 machine right there. So we'll just,
yeah, Dwayne Vincent has always been a pretty decent guy to race with, and he's fast, but he's he hasn't had a win yet this season, but he's like the Ryan Newman coming into the chase. So we'll see what happens, huh?
Yes, sir. We'll give it our best shot.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna have Rich Jet coming here, but thanks for coming in and talking to us there, Jeff.
Yep, thanks, guys.
All right, Rich Jet, the man who won our version of the Daytona 500, was pretty much locked in the chase from the beginning of the season. Ran pretty quietly most of the rest of the season, but you, like I said, you were pretty much locked in the whole season, so you really didn't have to do anything.
Yeah, it was good to win that first race. As it went on, though, I was kind of counting who was winning races and how many people were winning races, and started getting down to where we're all kind of getting locked in there. Definitely took it off my shoulders to kind of relax a little bit. Not that I wasn't doing that the whole year, but like at Richmond there, I was trying a little too hard and couldn't come up with any momentum.
Yeah, well, how do you feel your season went, man? I know the competition level this year, like we've been talking about, was insane compared to last year. Like I said, we're not taking anything away from last year, but the competition level with all the newcomers and everyone practicing more, the competition level was crazy. How do you feel your season went with all that new competition?
First month, I think it was pretty good. I think I was top 5 in points still after the third or fourth race, but then I had some PC issues. I had some power issues. There was a lot of things. I don't think I finished a race on the lead lap for about 2 months, and then I had to fix that. But other than that middle stretch, it kind of was up and down. Very inconsistent, I'll say.
Yeah, man. Well, that's just the way it seems to go sometimes. But like I said, you had the Nathan Little syndrome, I guess we call it. And Nathan Little last year, he always had the worst luck with getting disconnected and whatnot. But luckily, you had that win to fall back on.
Yeah, I'm very glad I had that win. I was right there in points if it came down to it. If I didn't have that win, but just finish all the laps and it falls where it falls.
Now, what's going to be your strategy going into Chicago? I mean, it's like, you're seated, what is it, 6th place?
Well, I got a
8th,
couple
sorry.
extra bonus points, but I don't think I can really, I'm not as competitive as everybody else. I just have to kind of pick them off as they come and try and turn the wick up a little bit and try to do some things I've kind of been hesitant on doing here recently. So try and make something happen, but also just do what I've been doing and finish all the laps and get to the next rounds.
Well, all right, man. Well, appreciate you coming to talk to us, and good luck at Chicago and good luck in the chase, man.
Thank you, you too.
Thank you for joining us, Rich.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to try to get Anthony DeBarro down in here. There he is, Anthony DeBarro, driver of the number 9 car.
He's kind of the guy that's kind of quiet, He doesn't really talk a whole lot during the races, but I tell you what, he's a pretty damn good driver.
I don't think I've ever heard him talk, so this will be a debut of his voice for me. Go ahead, say some words, Anthony.
Hey, what's up?
Anthony, I tell you what, man. It reminds me of Talladega and all the stuff that's been going on throughout your season. I mean, you've had some ups and downs, but what's your plan for the chase? I mean, with this new build and the dynamic track changes that go on during the race. I mean, of course, you get the track rubbered up and stuff like that. Do you think a second groove will be possible at Chicago?
Well, I'm really interested to see. I haven't done any practice there at all, but from what I hear from everyone else, they say it's going to work. But Richmond, to me, didn't really feel too much different than it did in the springtime.
Yeah, I didn't get very much time to run on Richmond, but it felt like, even with the track rubbering up slightly, that there really wasn't too much of a difference. Hopefully, as we go to other tracks, especially like Chicagoland, where the top groove kind of works anyways, it'll be a little bit better. But from what I saw at Richmond this week, with us and every other series that ran at Richmond, it was just a crash fest.
Yeah, it's going to be key in the chase, avoiding other people's wrecks and not causing any of your own.
That's for sure, man. You only ran 14 races this year, but you were able to pick up a win there. how'd you feel knowing that you and both you and Christopher Hurlow managed to only do 14 races, but get into that top 30 and getting to chase Kyle Busch style? Man, how'd that feel?
Felt pretty good. I mean, this is my first season here, so I'm trying to really gain a lot of respect out of people. I don't want to run too many people over,
Yeah, it's easy to do here. You get the full fields like we have. I know last night was a whole bunch of chain reactions going on, but from what I could tell racing against you, whenever I could catch your ass, you were a pretty fairly clean racer there. So yeah, man, you did a good job this season. I'm wishing you the best of luck in the chase.
Yeah, you too. It should be fun, and hopefully it's a good battle all the way to the end for everyone.
Jimmy, you got anything?
Oh yeah, I've always got something. My mind is always wandering. Kenny Schrader here. I mean, I guess I sound like Kenny Schrader, but Anthony, it's like Jonathan was saying, kind of an up and down season, involved in some wrecks and stuff like that. What's going to be your game plan to run a lot better in the chase? I mean, your performance is, like 100% out on the track, no doubt. But, I mean, not trying to go down the negative side of things, but, I mean, what's your game plan, for Chicago and carrying forward during the 3-race chase so you can make it into the, what is it called? Not the Eliminator round, but help me out here, John.
Contender?
Contender round, that's right.
I don't know. Honestly, I'm blanking on that one too.
I really think it's going to take top 15s, if that. You just really can't have that bad race, because if you have that bad race, you're going to have to go out there and win a race to get in the next round. But I think if you go out there and get top 15s all 3 races, you'll be fine for the next round. After then, I think it's going to ramp up a lot, but I know I could definitely run top 5 if was to keep it out of trouble. I definitely have the speed for that. So I just think in the first 3, it's going to be learning about the new track build, what it does in the mile and halves, and seeing where we go from there. And just hopefully we're able to stay out of trouble and get to the next round.
Definitely, and you got a lot of guys in the top, even the 10 and the points that are fast, like David Comstock, Dwayne Vincent, Eric, Dan, Jeff Ward, Thomas J. George. I mean, these guys are, they're going to be really tough to beat. So I'm wishing you the best of luck throughout the chase. And, of course, we'll probably end up doing the show a couple of times throughout the chase, maybe. John?
Yeah, definitely. All right, Anthony, thanks for hanging out with us, man, and good luck in the chase, dude.
Yeah, good luck to you too. Have a good one. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too, Anthony.
You too. All right, and I guess our final guest for the night is, we're saving the best for last, obviously. We got Thomas J. George, driving the number 1 Steel Horse Racing Chevy. 3 wins on the year. Theoretically better than last year. There have been a lot of ups and downs, including last night, which hopefully is behind us now. But how you feel that your season went there, Thomas?
She felt pretty good there, John, I can't lie. But I felt like I left some wins on the table there, to be honest. So I'll have to go in the chase and get them.
Yeah, that voice sounds pretty damn familiar. Like, going out he wins a race, and he goes, "This one's for America." All super excited and ecstatic. So, I know that feeling, bud, and it's awesome. But, with Chicago coming up and all that stuff, I mean, you're a top-notch driver like all the other guys that have gone in here, like Cadell and Comstock, Dwayne, and all them guys. What are you going to be some of your ups and downs for Chicago? I mean, I personally don't know how good you run at the mile and a half. I know you've done pretty well at Charlotte, Dover, and all that, but Chicago's kind of different. So what's kind of your strategy going into the races next Monday?
It's gonna be the same strategy I've used at all the other mile and a half tracks. All my 3 wins this year came at mile and a half tracks, whether it be Charlotte, Atlanta, or Kentucky. And the thing about Chicagoland is that I don't want to say it's exactly similar to Kentucky and Atlanta, but it's tire wear is a big factor there, and that's something I'm really good at doing, is conserving my tires while still keeping a really good pace. And a lot, I don't want to say anything about the hot lappers or anything like that, but even if I don't start, top 5, I've seen a lot this year where some guys will start up front, then they'll drop off, and that's what I'm planning on. And we finished 3rd here last year, and that was only by chance of not pitting early enough to where we need to get out front, because once the field gets spread out here, it's hard to make any time up. So the strategy's not going to change just for 1.5 mile tracks. I don't think we finished outside the top 10 of a single one yet, the cookie cutters, so it's going to be relatively the same, and hopefully we get a win early so we don't have to worry about the other 2 races.
Yeah, and Talladega is kind of a crapshoot. I mean, it's a restricted plate track, and everybody wants to be out front, not in the middle of the track or towards the back, because that's where all the big wrecks happen. So, other than Talladega, what are your opinions of like Martinsville and all that?
Well, for Talladega, we're fortunate enough that we're gonna get 2.5 mile tracks again, and Charlotte is obviously probably my best one. And hopefully I don't run into John like I did last year, even though we were coming to a checker flag. That was a crazy finish for us
exactly.
there.
I still ain't forgot.
Yeah, no, and you ain't forgot about Texas last year either.
Nope.
I know.
No.
Hey, if I didn't make that pass at Texas, I wouldn't have made the final round. So
Yeah, that way, and you couldn't have wrecked and made a butthole out of yourself in the last race, huh?
Hey, I was upset. What can I say? We got it worked out. We got it worked out. But now I'm gonna, hit you with a baseball batter, flatten your tires before the next race. Now.
Yeah, that's what you're going to have to do to beat me, pretty much.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Oh God.
The challenge is on now. But
oh yeah.
But Martinsville, it's honestly, Martinsville and Phoenix are the crapshoot races, because I'm still disappointed that we didn't get the finish I felt like we deserved at Phoenix, and if we got in long green runs, I feel like we would have run up front anyway, and that's just been the story for this year. If we get the runs we need, we end up finishing top 5, but there was some late race caution due to wreck in the back or something comes down, it just throws everything off. I felt like it cost Darlington, whether or not I would have won that race or not. Me and Eric and Dwayne and Jeff would have battled it out there, and then just kind of threw a loop into that. So, in Martinsville, it's just a matter of surviving. We saw it at Richmond. We got long green runs, but we had a lot of cautions at the start and at the end. So it's just you have to be smart about it, and hopefully, it'd be nice to get a win at Texas or something, so I don't have to worry about Martinsville or Phoenix. It's just that's how it's gonna have to be every round. You got to get a win to make sure you don't have to worry about the other 2 races afterward or the race after. It's just that's how it goes. And if you can't get the win, get the best points that you can.
Yep, winning you're in, man. Winning you're in.
Yeah, and carrying yourself forward, like you're saying, if you get a win, you're automatically going to transfer to the next round. But you also have to consider the fact that if you can't get that win, it's coming in with a solid top 5, top 10 finish in front of your opponents as well. So there's a lot of factors involved starting off the chase this season. So wishing the best of luck to you, man.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, all the bad luck's behind us, so we can string together 10 really good races here, and hopefully go to Homestead and finish what we didn't get to do last year and go off and get that championship.
Well, yeah, best of luck to you, man. Actually, we just had Chris Hurlow ask if he could be interviewed. So you were going to be the last one. We were saving the best for last, but I guess Chris is just that much better, Thomas. But good luck in the chase, man.
Yeah, right. Okay, whatever you say. Oh, God, this is going to get interesting. All right, take care, guys.
You too, man. All right, well, we were all about to be done with interviews, but Chris Hurlow shows up at the last second here. So just like in the regular season, he shows up at the last second. Chris, you barely squeaked into the top 30 and pulled one heck of a save there at Darlington. Surprised everybody. And came out with a win with a two-tire strategy call, man. Tell us about that race.
It was probably one of the best races I've ran all year long without, in my career, actually, on iRacing. We were a top 10 car all night long. We saved the tires there at the end, and we were just hoping to get a yellow flag with about 30 to 20 to go, and luckily we got that, and William called for 2 tires, and I was on board. We came in and got 2 right side tires, and the rest is history. We checked out and actually won the race. It was so tough to pass at Darlington. I was racing with Eric Brundys and Jeff Ward there, and they gave me plenty of room, and we just held our line, and luckily we got the victory that night.
Yeah, man, that was one heck of a run that you had there at Darlington. Like, from what I heard, you just drove your heart out, and props to you. There's no way in hell I could ever at Darlington on 2 tires hold off Eric Brundys, Dwayne Vincent, Thomas George, all those guys. And I thought when we found out that you took 2 tires, I'm like, this guy's a dead man. He's going to wreck the whole field. And you know what? You got yourself in the damn chase with it, man. So props to you. All right, Jimmy, you got anything? I know we lost you there for a second, but you're back in business now.
What happened? I think I got kicked out or something. What are you doing, Jonathan? Come on, man.
It's the kitty porn I got going in the background, evidently.
Yeah, you're killing me, Smalls. Christensen 11th in points right now, going to Chicago. What kind of strategies are you thinking for the upcoming race on Monday? I mean, it's going to be tough with the new build and the dynamic track changes. It's kind of an unknown, but you get some extra cracks over the weekend.
Life experience, racing, moving around the racetrack and everything. So hopefully that brings a little bit more of the driver into it, and if that does, hopefully we can make it all the way to Homestead. That's the goal.
Yeah, definitely. It seems like this new build has put it back to the driver's hands, so, saving tires.
Yeah, I think we would have probably been in pretty good shape last night, too, if we didn't mess up in qualifying. We had a really fast car last night at Richmond, and, I botched the qualifying lap, and we had to start 30th, and then we got in a little bit of trouble, and Cadell, along with us, got in a little bit of trouble, too. So it was an extremely long night. And I didn't know if you guys knew this or not, but with the new tire model, you can actually blow tires now. So I got pictures of me blowing a right front tire at Richmond.
Well, that's something good to know. Thanks for pointing that out to me. Better you than me, huh?
Yeah, 10-4. Hopefully that don't happen to us in the chase. We just got our toe knocked out really bad there, and it just killed the right front tire. And we went down in the turn 1, and it blew going into 1. We were lucky to keep it out of the wall and minimize our damage. And they told me I had to finish in the top 20 last night, and we were able to get out there and get an 18th place finish at the end of the day. So we're a sleeper going into this thing, but that's where we like to be. We want to be an underdog. Everybody appreciates an underdog, and we're going to go out there and see if we can win this championship.
Well, best of luck to you, man.
10-4. Thank you, Jimmy. Appreciate it.
All right, Chris. Well, thanks for stopping in, and good luck in the chase, and we'll see you next Monday at Chicagoland.
All right. Sounds good. You guys have a good night.
You too, man. All right, Jimmy, I think that about wraps it up. I know I've had a lot of audio issues on this end. When you dropped out there and you came back in Skype, I had echoes going on all over the damn place. This has been a learning experience, but it's been kind of fun.
That's okay. I'll still give you the, what do they call it, the golden star for doing a good job tonight.
Yeah, A for effort, A for effort.
A for effort, that too. What the heck, huh?
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, but, you're in the chase as well as yourself, so what are you thinking there, bud?
I don't know what I'm thinking, man. I wasn't even expecting to run full time this year. I happened to get a supervisor job at work, so I rake the schedule, and I coincidentally have every damn Monday night off. Somehow, I don't know. But I got to take every Monday night off. Unfortunately, I don't get to practice as much as I would like, and I did start up the Steel Horse TV, so I am a little bit more distracted than I was last year, but the competition level also went through the freaking roof. And, last year I could get a top 10 with my eyes closed, it felt like, and this year I'd close my eyes and I'm wrecked. The fields were fuller. The I rating or strength of field was a lot higher. And you had guys, like I said, that would run 2-3 NIS races a week just to be able to get the line down pat, know their tire strategy and whatnot. And it just takes a lot of dedication. And I will say that I didn't put as much dedication into it as I should have. Hopefully, going into the chase, I can get a little bit more time to practice, put a little bit more dedication into it. But even then, I'm not going to get any more talented, I don't think. So I'm hoping to last through the first 2 rounds, get into the top 8 is my goal. That was my goal last year, and I ended up damn near winning the championship. So hopefully we get something similar to that this year, but you never know.
I just realized I should have adjusted my lamp earlier before we started this broadcast.
Oh, you're all dark and ominous right now.
Yeah, I tell you, it would have been cool to be a part of the chase this year, but maybe next year, This season, last season I wasn't really around a whole lot due to work and stuff like that, but, this season I've been around quite a bit, learning some stuff. Maybe I can carry that forward to next season, and who knows, maybe I could be a guy as well that would compete for, at least getting into the chase and then, maybe making a few rounds. Who knows?
Yeah, man, anything's possible. It's that's one thing for sure in this series, man. It's it'll bring out the best in you, that's for sure.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to look at all these, chase drivers, including yourself, to see how well they're able to move around other drivers, and go off and try and get a win out of any of their tracks. But yeah, the 1.5 miles will be easy. Short tracks like Phoenix and Martinsville, or like Thomas George was saying, are going to be kind of the crapshoots. But I'm still a firm believer that Talladega is probably one of the races that can take a guy out of the championship in literally just under a couple of seconds. So.
Yeah, and the draft model has changed a lot this year, so you can't really hang back like you used to. You got to keep up with that field or you're going to lap down. So Talladega is going to be a very interesting one this year.
Well, I'll be going for the win. That's for damn sure.
You and 42 other guys.
That's right. Everybody. It's like they said last weekend when Matt Kansas was running around Richmond. Dale Waltrip came in and said, "Hey, it don't matter if you're leading the race with 3-4 to go. You got to lead the last lap and finish first. So, anything can happen."
I wish that would have happened. I was at that race, and it was the most boring race I've ever been to. But that's beside the point. All right, well, I got a league race I got to catch here. We'll be broadcasting that here on Steel Horse TV. We're going to go down for a minute before we bring that back up. But thank you, Jimmy, for stopping in.
Hey, no problem, bud. I appreciate you doing this, and hopefully we'll be able to do it again.
Yeah, well, I'm going to try to do one after the first round maybe, and we'll talk to the next 12 drivers that get through. Hopefully get my audio issues settled here. So thanks for stopping in. It's been a real pleasure, and we'll just see you next time.
Yeah, in fact, before you sign off, there's a guy that I know that could help if you need any help. His name is J.D. Webb.
Oh, J.D. Webb. All right. All right, man. Well, you take it easy, and we'll talk to you later.
Indeed. Have a good night, bud, and good luck.
Yeah, thanks.